Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We're going to introduce you to just a handful of our adoptable pets in this episode. Our first guest today is, as her name implies, quite the charmer. This beautiful 1-year-old blue pit bull mix is an incredible social butterfly. This girl has never met a stranger. She will run right up to you, super confident. She wants affection. She wants to play. And we think she's going to be a great fit for most households out there. She does have some basic manners. She walks fairly nicely on a leash. She is a little tank. She's one of those shorter, squatter, kind of Amstaffy looking girls, but does weigh in the 55-pound range. So she's, a muscle tank there. And, but walks fairly nicely. She does have a nice sit, loves treats, is eager to work for treats. She's super dog friendly. We don't have any issues with her that we've noticed in terms of resource guarding. She's okay with you handling her feet and her mouth. The one thing that might be an issue for some people, depending on where you live, is that she is a singer. She loves to talk. So if you live, in close proximity to other people, apartments, those types of things, she might not be the best fit for that, just because she is vocal. But we've had no issues with her here. She's just been a great addition. Everybody loves her. Recently, though, she did have a little bit of medical. If you've been watching the show, you may have heard us talk about Lily and how she has a condition called vaginal hyperplasia. Charmer, too, is suffering from that. Fortunately, the treatment for that is to get her spayed. She's already been spayed, so we're just monitoring that and obviously treating those symptoms. But hopefully that's going to be something that is just temporary, like it was with Lily, and not a big issue moving forward. But if you're looking for an active dog to be part of your active family, then Charmer is going to be a great option. And if you want to meet her, you know what to do. You need to go to visit fcac.as.me to begin the adoption process. What's better than one senior dog? 2 senior dogs. We've had odd couples here before, and Gunner and Tinky are definitely another odd couple. We call them odd couples because usually one dog's big and one dog's little. So we have Gunner, who is our 109-pound golden retriever mix, and his best friend, Tinky, who is our 24-pound Maltese mix. They absolutely adore each other. They hang out, and they have lived together. And unfortunately, they made their way here because their owner became unhoused and couldn't properly care for them, wanted them to have a better situation, so brought them here to us. They are 9 and 11 years old, respectively. So Gunner is 9, and then Tinky is 11. And as older pets, they do have some medical. So definitely want to make sure that you are visiting and reading over their medical. Obviously, both of them are overweight, so they need to go on diets. They're having some issues with things like cataracts, dental, need for a dental, things like that, which are pretty common in older pets. But they are mobile. They do go on walks together. They're easy to walk. And they're just very, very sweet, kind of low-key guys. So if you have the room in your home for them, they're just looking for that nice retirement spot to land. And super sweet, beautiful animals. Obviously, a lot of fur involved there, so they will have some grooming needs there. But just, so sweet, and they definitely love each other. Gunner also loves human attention and does get a little jealous when Tinky's getting more affection than he thinks she should be, and that he needs more. But they are just so easy to manage. Just again, making sure that, they are going to a home where somebody's going to be willing to follow up with their medical needs. If you think that that's you and you want to give these guys a nice place to have and spend their golden years in, you can head on over to visit fcac.as.me. We have a fair amount of confident cats on our adoption floor right now, but one of the ones that's definitely stolen my heart a little bit is one of our Shire cats, and that's Pat. She is 4 years old, and because she's shyer and she is a black cat, she can be a little bit harder to see. So it's important to take opportunities like this to showcase her. Um, yes, she is a little bit shyer. She's kind of lingering in the back of her cage, doesn't necessarily come forward. But once you open the cage and start interacting with her, she is the sweetest. I opened it to take her a picture. She was very quick to purr and roll around and really enjoy the affection. She just feels more comfortable kind of in the back of the cage. And if you've been watching the show, there's a lot of stuff going on right now with all the construction. So that definitely adds to the normal shelter stress. She was willing to play with me. And as the days have progressed, she's starting to be, very comfortable with the volunteers and showing that same level of affection for them. But she is shy. She doesn't really like loud noises. So she might be better suited for a family that is a little bit more low key, has a quieter household. We don't recommend her for homes that do have small children. But if you have the time to commit to her and the patience to kind of let her settle into a new environment, she's definitely going to be a great companion for someone. She's very, very sweet, very affectionate, playful, and she's a beautiful cat. She is, a striking black coat, very kind of silky and so soft. She's just looking for that family that's going to be the right one for her. And again, quiet, patient, and just kind of letting her come into her own. If you have that time and you're cool with a cat that likes quiet, because maybe you like quiet too, head on over to visit fcac.as.me to book that visitation. When Eve went on the adoption floor, right away, boom, somebody applied for her. She was scheduled for adoption. So there wasn't much to post about or talk about, but unfortunately that family had some things come up and they were unable to follow through with that adoption. So now, for all those people who might have seen Eve online, she's now up for, another chance at being part of your family. She is a beautiful dilute tortie, which means she's going to have, instead of the blacks and the oranges, she's going to have those kind of gray and cream colored tones. And she has quite the personality. She's right by the door. She is in one of what we would call greeter cages, and she's totally comfortable and confident being there. She is a talker. She's asking for your attention. She's right at the front of the cage. And when she sees people interacting with other cats, she's definitely giving them a shout out like, hey, why are you over there? Please come over here and hang out with me. And loves attention. I've seen her sitting on volunteer laps. She's kind of, again, one of those cats that checks all the boxes. We describe her as super sweet and friendly. She does seem to be okay with the other cats around her, aside from, being like, why are you petting them instead of me? She doesn't seem to have any issues with dogs per se, slow, proper introductions. We think that she would be okay with that. She's recommended for children of any age. So she's just a really fun, another young adult cat that is probably going to get overlooked now that kittens are starting to make their way to the adoption floor. So if you're looking for a beautiful cat with a great personality, then consider maybe making Eve part of your family. And you can do that and start that process by going to visit fcac.as.me. Brox has only been with us for about a week, and already this 31-pound cat has worked his way into all of our hearts and has quickly become a favorite. The big thing with him is obviously his size. At 31 pounds, he does need to be on a diet, and we are working with him on that. But any new owner is going to have to obviously be committed to helping him on his weight loss journey as well. So that means, following a vet's guidance to get him to a healthy weight. You don't want to do that too quickly or too slowly because it could cause other health issues. But this guy is still mobile. He's able to walk around. He jumps in and out of his cage. He enjoys playing and he rolls around. And so he's going to be able to quickly exercise, and in a home environment where he's not confined, he's going to be able to walk around and run and go up and down stairs. All of those things are going to help him. Aside from the fact that He is playful. He is also incredibly affectionate. He wants to sit on you. He wants to sit near you. He's quick to purr. He initiates petting. He loves being brushed, which is great because as an overweight cat, he does need some grooming assistance. So he's just, he checks all of those boxes. The only thing he really needs to worry about is getting down to that healthy weight, which is something that we do here all the time. And we found that a lot of those overweight cats, once they get in a home, if they're following, their vet's guidance, they lose quick weight that appropriate rate, and it's not really an issue for them anymore. I do believe this cat has previously lived with other cats, but because he is so much larger, if you have multiple cats, definitely making sure that litter boxes are big enough for him, not just for the other cat in the house. Adding enough litter boxes, making sure that they're really staying clean, because that's something that he cares about. He wants his litter box to be clean, and it does need to be big enough for all 30 pounds of him to fit in there. But if you're not worried about a little bit of a weight loss journey and you want to make this super lovable guy part of your family, you know what to do. The first step is going to be going to our booking site and making that appointment. You can do that at visitfcac.as.me. While it is kitten season and a lot of kittens are starting to make their way in, there are still totally amazing young adult cats on the adoption floor, and Chipper definitely qualifies. This confident guy is very affectionate and he's really handsome. He's got that great kind of brown tabby and white pattern going on, and he comes right to the front of his cage. He wants your attention. He is so comfortable being petted and interacted with. He likes to be held, and a lot of people are really looking for that. And honestly, there's a lot of commotion going around right now because of all of the construction that we have. And the other day, Chipper was just zonked, just comfortably laying in his bed, not a care in the world, asleep. Nothing could bother him. So if you have, maybe some rambunctious kids, running around your house and you're looking for a pet, Chipper's not going to be bothered by that, and he is recommended for children of any age. And also, sometimes he can be a little vocal himself, so he will kind of mix right into to all of the kids' goings on if you do have a household filled with children. And he is curious and playful, and he kind of checks all of those boxes. And the good thing about getting a cat that's 2 years old, like Chipper, is that that's his personality. Kittens are, of course, incredibly cute, but you don't really know what you're getting. They're going to be growing and changing, and as much as you want to guide them into, and mold them, they're ultimately going to be whatever they want to be. So if you're looking for a cat that's going to be curious and playful and very social and wants to be held and those types of things, then sometimes it is better to get a cat that's a little bit older. And at just 2 years old, he's still going to be with your family for a long time. So if that's what you're looking for, then definitely stop in and make that appointment to visit with Chipper. You can do that by going to visitfcac.as.me. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed meeting these amazing adoptable pets. Keep tuning in for more.